$100 into these 3 stocks will surpass your full-time job by Invest with Corey. Now, in my opinion, Invest with Corey is the biggest scam and con artist on YouTube, and I don't believe it's particularly close. Probably I would put Felix Pren with Goat Academy second, but Corey's definitely up there. If you saw my video before, he basically fabricated almost his entire backstory. In December 2022, he filed with the court that he had a net worth of minus $50,000. I've been contacted by a lot of people who have joined his Discord and who tried to get refunds, but I bet you in this video, Corey's going to tell us how awesome he is and how he's been able to call virtually every single price movement. However, in my opinion, Corey is a compulsive liar. I know that when we talk to regular people, we assume that what they tell us is the truth, but with Corey, I believe it's the opposite. In my opinion, the best way to treat people like Corey is to assume that everything that they tell you is a complete lie. Let's check out what Corey has to say in this video.
I'm going to show you 3 stocks that if you invest into could likely and potentially pass your full-time job or income.
Yeah, highly unlikely that you're going to be able to invest $100 into these 3 stocks and then it's going to surpass your full-time job. But all right, moving on.
Risks with every investment. However, these 3 stocks have shown incredible growth and they've been upgraded by analyst ratings and they've been moving upwards for a very consistent amount of time. I'm going to show you what these 3 stocks are and explain to you guys how these are the same strategies we go over in Discord. It's how my students were able to make $50,000, $60,000, over $100,000 on AMD today.
But that's kind of weird because the people who've contacted me, let's see what they've said about your community. Here you see someone says, Corey is so full of himself, also lying all the time, terrible coach. I even got kicked out of the Discord calling him out. Wow, that's unfortunate. Then this person said, unhappy member wanting their money back. All his messages got deleted and I am fairly certain he has now been kicked off the Discord, which is what normally happens. All my messages deleted, LOL. Please refund, thanks. This is the info members receive in order to make money. Nothing more than calling out large volume moves on stocks from elsewhere. Some sort of dark pool data, which is nothing to do with him finding trade setups or strategies. As people take the trades blindly, the panic is real when the trades go against them and they don't know how to manage the position. JPM, Lulu, MSTR. I hate to admit it, but I got stung buying into Corey's BS. I had not seen your reviews before I signed up earlier this year, so it was too late to file for a refund. Plus, I am halfway around the world, making things even harder. Inside his Discord, there is a lot of inactive members, meaning they have joined in some capacity over the years, but they aren't active in there. Anyone who says anything negative, the comments are removed and the member either timed out or booted out. So the Discord is a facade. Just like his YouTube, it appears he uses his YouTube channel to rope people in. Then once signed up, he's on to his next prey. Trades called out on his YouTube and inside his Discord are completely different. Inside his Discord, he hardly gives any trade setup ideas, no guidance on managing trades. He could say no trades inside his Discord, then members see him giving up trade ideas on his YouTube the same day. One week he is doing his own analysis on stocks and giving trade setup ideas, which caused a lot of people to get stuck in trades when the market crashed in April. To recently, he just calls out large trades he sees in some dark pool data source. And now he is changing again to offering up trades on a risk scale from 1 to 5. He has no strategy and I cringe whenever I see a new member all keen and eager. Depending on the amount members paid determines what they get. The rate seems to change depending on who is asking. And then you can read more of this below. He really is from the bottom of the barrel, one that should be rolled off a boat in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, just like that, he had a Discord, but as soon as I joined, hardly anyone was talking. I guess it's a bunch of newbies. I was the one who was the only one basically talking and giving advice. Yes, I was in his Discord and paid for boot camp, and all I had was margin calls and lost a ton of money. He continues to put out dark pool data and making people feel like they are doing it all wrong if they lose money. Doesn't coach or give trades, just continues to talk about himself. His trades are straight up gambling, mostly buying short dated call options based on dark pool data only he can see. Most of the group appear to be consistently losing money. This was a dark pool mention, no picks in his room the last 2 weeks. He never posts in the general room, which is surprising considering the cost. Someone else wrote, do not join his Discord. I was a part of it this past year. It cost $5,000 and that only gets you 1 year. They kicked me out after that year with no warning. I was promised a lifetime membership. Also, you will not get a one-on-one with Corey unless you give him more money. Someone else wrote, you always did it again with your students, but the pics you gave out recently have all dumped. Someone else wrote, how about talking about the recent losers too? That always seem to go off the radar. Corey has very bad temper and aggressive responses when someone offends him. Stay away from him to save your money. His YouTube videos are not related to his Discord at all. He is not active in the Discord, sometimes quiet for days. Only make videos to ask people to join and charge many thousands. Then he will be rude after. Anyway, let's get back to the video so we can see Corey tell us how amazing he is.
You can see the profits right there. I told everybody to buy AMD back in February and March.
Everyone, I am the prophet. That's why I was living at my mom's place when I was over 40 years old with a negative net worth. But I'm a stock market savant. You can trust me. I'm so good that even though I had a negative net worth at 40 years old and during the pandemic I couldn't afford rent and I got sued, I believe that you should pay me money to get my stock picks.
Understand good company, thousands of dollars. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that right now. If you guys are confused by...
Again, in my opinion, Corey is a compulsive liar. If it were me, I would take everything that Corey says and automatically assume that it's a lie. But let's see what his stocks are.
The third generation robot, which is a pretty big feat that they accomplished recently. Serve Robotics has demonstrated significant, furthermore, strategic acquisition generally holds a moderate buy consensus. So looking at Serve Robotics, we can see the price right here at $14.98. It's above my current AVP, which is a strategy I teach in Discord. Very powerful, might I add. It's helped all my students grow their portfolios.
But it's weird that you claim that it helped all your students grow their portfolios. But I just read you 5 or 6 examples of people who were dissatisfied, and a bunch of them said that your members lost money.
AP is below the current price. However, so when we look at this and we ask ourselves, how could this surpass your full-time job?
Well, it can't. Obviously, I just used that title in order to clickbait you into watching this video. All right, let's check out what the second stock is that he's recommending.
I did tell you to buy it most recently when it was under 5.
Sure you did, Corey. I would love to subpoena this guy's trading statements. In my opinion, I don't even think he trades at all, but I could be wrong there.
And now with trading, see through its core technologies, gallium nitride, GAN, and silicon carbide, and other big companies around the world with GAN as well as SIC, this is a very potentially huge breakthrough.
And the third one, then more of, oh my God, join my Discord. Even though a lot of other people say that members lose money, but of course, Corey's going to pump it up. And then the last one,
driver is its massive contracted capacity with hyperscaler, performance computing, HPC, and data centers, featuring advanced liquid-cooled and high-density power delivery, directly addresses the exponential demand for a $1 billion. Its aggressive market capital.
So what's the last one? APLD, which is trading at about 27.50. Editing David here. And as you can see, APLD is currently trading at about $24. That means that every single one of the 3 recommendations that Corey made have actually lost money. However, it's my opinion that he's probably either going to forget about these recommendations or he'll just tell people that he recommended them at much lower prices and that all 3 of them were profitable. Corey still remains on top by far, my subjective scammer mountain, so he's definitely king of that mountain. If you have any questions or comments, then leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you have any experience with Corey in his Discord, then feel free to leave a comment about it and I might shout you out and read the comment in future videos.